Hi guys, I wanted to do a reading for you today. I went through my deck and I did a couple shuffles to see what would come out. And I got a couple cards that came out, and then I noticed that it basically referred to someone who is Leo rising, or the energy of Leo rising could be important. And then when I went to go do the reading, the actual time clock right now at 15:56 is Leo rising. So I guess I'm doing this reading. So I made a bunch of notes and I just got home from the gym, so I look rough, so forgive. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to read what I got for someone who may be experiencing this energy, or someone who may identify with being a Leo rising. So the first thing that I got was a Jupiter card, and it was Jupiter in Gemini, the 11th house. So, and then that's exactly where it is right now for me, in the 11th house. So, Jupiter in Gemini, growth and expansion through hopes, dreams, aspirations, experiencing lucky breaks, something to do with your communities and your friendships. So these two together, working in your favor. Now, Gemini is a sign where things happen in doubles. So I wrote down, you may experience two different friendship circles, or trying to show up for every event, feeling drawn to get to know multiple cultures or points of view. So that energy was coming up for me. Then it went, then I had this lovely card fly out, Cancer. So Cancer in the 12th house, deeply introspective, sometimes struggles with emotional expression. Emotions can be intense and deeply felt, and sometimes we have very loud dreams. And then we got the Ascendant card, was that? Oh, excuse me, it was Mars. Mars came through. Mars. And Mars is in Cancer, right? So the cards, the chart, lol. So Mars in the 12th house. Internal conflict, sometimes nightmares, frustrated with health matters. Sometimes we can experience swelling, redness in areas, sore areas, fevers, sometimes bloating in the stomach or irritation in the stomach. Needs to exercise for an emotional outlet. So like Mars is action. And sometimes, like literally, if Mars is in Cancer, you may want to work with or in water to help yourself with that energy. It's a very passionate type of protective energy. So sometimes whatever it is that you're experiencing, you may sometimes unconsciously just be trying to protect yourself in some kind of way. And then I got the Ascendant energy that came out. So, of course, the Ascendant was in Leo. So I got charismatic, life of the party, easily frustrated when ignored, needs to feel seen as a person, but also in relationships. It's kind of like the main character in a movie kind of energy, but it talks about entrance, so new things happening into your life. And so we're talking about my lovely friend Mars. So Mars is in Cancer, but he's not going to be there for very long. He's going to move into Leo, so into the Ascendant. And so Mars in Leo may have a tendency to act slightly arrogant or impulsive, very aggressive, or have energy in quickness, like I need to get something done very quickly. May need to be careful when doing things. You may want to avoid risky things or doing something for show that may cause an injury. You may want to run. You may need to dance. You may need to do something where you physically move, but be very careful when holding things that are Mars objects, like knives, anything sharp, driving too fast, gas pedal, different things like that. Especially if you have a red car, you're totally embracing the entire Mars energy. So you want to make sure that, and when I say arrogant, sometimes that, Leo is ruled by the sun, and sometimes our unconscious, Mars coming from Cancer into Leo, sometimes our unconscious actions and motivations can be perceived as arrogant, even though they may be coming from a very deep and passionate place. Just make sure that when you're doing stuff, you're not doing it for the wrong reasons, I guess would be the best way to say that. And then we got Aquarius in the 7th house. I was brought to, I have this lovely deck. I love this. The lonely little monsters. I love them. They're so sweet. But this is kind of like an overall energy. But sometimes I notice that it works for a lot of people who are going through some deep stuff. So deep stuff, right? Okay, so who's in Aquarius right now? Pluto, right? So the communion of tender souls. So there may be something about someone who met somebody in a friendship sector. That may be why that keeps coming up for you. But so this energy is of two people coming together just to be with each other, to witness each other, to see each other, to experience one another as they truly are, as they want to be seen in some kind of way. So I'm going to read from the book what it says. True communion comes in the moments where two who once felt like strangers connect over the simple delight of the warmth that springs up between them. Our souls, for all they grow in solitude, crave those moments of connection. And here you have this moment. This kinship runs deep. It's created through what is shared but unspoken, what is understood without explanation, what is seen without being exposed. The tender part of each of you has found a safe place, each within each other. Nurture and tend this gently, with respect, and allow both of your freedom. In time, let us see what will be woven between these two souls. For now, rest in the bliss of this communion. So, a very deep, profound, starting out as a friendship. I want to say something from that Gemini energy moving into the Aquarius 7th house energy, maybe part of that. Gemini, the answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. Okay, so Gemini answers. When the moon enters Gemini, the answers you need will be coming forward. If you have a tendency to be emotionally divided, something in the answer will clear up any indecision or help in anything that needs to be done. So this Gemini moons sometimes can be, it kind of has almost like a Libra indecisive energy, but it's almost like it's possible to love two things at once, right? And so if you are someone who happens to find yourself wanting two things and you're not sure which one is the right thing for you, that's what this is saying, is when the moon becomes into Gemini, at that time you will be able to find your answer. Now, and you could possibly have a natal Gemini moon. That could be what's coming up, or it might literally need to be the full moon in Gemini when you get your answer. So hopefully it's when the moon is there and not waiting for the full moon, because I'm not quite sure when the next time that's going to be happening off the top of my head. And then so we got Aries, right? So what is happening in Aries shortly is a new moon, solar eclipse, right? New moon, right? So intellectual pursuits or travel opportunities are subject to change, either opening up opportunities or the closing of something you felt obligated to do, but now have space to start doing what truly calls to you. So, and the reason I'm saying that is because Aries is the 9th house in this chart. So, and it says it's time to take action, right? So ask yourself, does this resonate with you? Is this helpful? Did anything I say point to anything that's happening to you right now. You do have the South Node transiting through your second house and the North Node going through your 8th house, and those are money houses. So sometimes you may notice that they might be over the next 18 months, we may be putting money out for something. It could be something to do with I had to invest in something, I needed to buy something. And then the 8th house sometimes can be a place where, obviously we're in tax season, so you may have to do some sort of taxes or whatever, or there could be possibility of some sort of money out now, money coming in later kind of energy. But there's definitely a sensation of when the South Node goes to the second house, you could be changing your diet, because second house rules over food, and it also can rule over changing a job. It can rule over changing certain habits, especially the ones that concern with your self-esteem in some kind of way. And the vertex is in the 5th house. Vertex is considered a fated event. It is at the 23rd degree, which is something that may show up as a surprise. If it's this relationship, that could be the surprise, because 5th house rules over, like, when we first start dating somebody or starting a relationship. It can also be a surprise lotto ticket, because the 5th house can rule over things like that. If you are putting money into a stock or into the stock market, or if you are gambling, I would be very careful with that energy, because the South Node going through your second house could probably result in losing some money. So just be careful with that. Let's see. Uranus is in the 10th house, so you may be experiencing chaos at work, and you may be deciding either the environment is too chaotic for you. It could be an alternative type of job that you decide you end up wanting to work at, or you want more free hours to do with work, or you want to be able to travel and have more freedom at work. You may be doing something that's boring and you need to do something that's exciting, different things like that. And then let's see, what else do we have? We have Saturn almost in conjunction with the North Node. So there seems to be some sort of constraint happening there. I keep going back to the 8th house. But something about the 8th house, we could be experiencing something to do with parents in some kind of way. But just keep an eye on the finances of some sort. And if you are not feeling well, if you are having fevers, if you have been having a higher temperature, if you have been feeling tired or fatigued in any kind of way, we need, in the other house is Capricorn, so it would be more of like a structured type of regimen. So it may be because of what's happening with work, the chaos there, that it feels like it's hard to have a structured health regimen in some kind of way. But regardless, there needs to be a little bit of love and repetition, even if it's not in a work environment. Something like, not everything can be chaotic and new and changing all the time, because that's stressful to you, like low key in the back. So you need to, if work is going to be chaos, something in your life needs to be structured. So yeah, I hope this helps somebody. Bye guys.